The AI has spoken. The great question has been answered. Hey, yeah, what does God look like? Like this. I feel much less threatened by God now. What an AI thinks the Mona Lisa looks like from memory. That's the reaction I have on my face when somebody says something stupid about computers. A Meowth, according to Edges to Cats. Please do me a favor. Please don't ever do this again. Absolutely ever. This is terrifying. I don't ever want to see it again. Bot makes up an odd knock-knock joke. What's your favorite knock-knock joke? Two guys are walking down the street and they hear a knock-knock. And the first guy says, "Come on, knock-knock." What? The second guy replies, "Knock-knock." The first guy says, "Go in. Fine, John Cena." The second guy replies, "Knock, knock." The guy makes a beeping noise, and the second guy goes in, finds Cena, and begins chanting, "Knock, knock." I have no idea what any of this was ever supposed to mean, but the line, "Go in, find John Cena," sounds like such a Jesus line that I want it inscribed on a tablet somewhere. Also, the tag human is just absolutely terrifying. Just a picture of a man and his beautiful daughter. Man looks fine. Don't want to insult the daughter. I'm not going to insult the daughter. I know it's generated. I know this is probably this person does not exist. But still, I just feel bad. This person does not exist, but I hope the creature on the left doesn't either. Yeah, I realized I skipped over that. This person does not exist is a site where it will generate just a fake sort of profile picture that you can use for, I don't know, social media and stuff like that. But sometimes it generates additional stuff in the background, and sometimes that goes very wrong. The military-industrial complex ends when somebody learns to become one with the Macarena. Well, you heard the bot. I know there's somebody out there now speedrunning a 100% Macarena, and hopefully they get there soon. Demons. See, if you spent enough time curating all of these, you can make a pretty good library of reaction images that would be both terrifying and memorable. I think there's some fantastic uses of AI for comedy, for real work and stuff like that. It's just not very good. And doubly worse when people call it art. An organ donor doesn't always know that he's an organ donor. That's just how it is. I don't know what state your organ donation laws are applicable, but I'm not gonna move there. My movie screen name is Boris Boogeyman? But you probably know me better as Boris, I'm not even gonna try, Buzniak? I'm actually not even a real movie star. I'm the executive producer of Knock Knock Jokes. I want my jokes to make people say, maybe this isn't the best use of my time. That's everything I've ever made. Personally, I can't stand the taste of food. And to make matters worse, I'm hemorrhaging vital organs right now. Hey, you never know. You might be an organ donor. But that's show business, baby. The sad part of this is it's in New York City, and that's pretty much the attitude you have to live there, especially if you're in the entertainment industry. It's not gay if completion. It's not gay if the other person is straight. There were a number of ways you could have made that funny or correct, but instead you've just gone completely wrong. Tried to make my own machine learning model that explodes your objects, buildings, cars. You know, I'm actually impressed. It identified the area, it knew what to go for first, and it kind of, like I can definitely see what it's going for. But yeah, it then seemed to spill all over the grass. I had no idea what to do with the grass or the sidewalk or anything, and just started to cascade from there. But hey, that's a better start than I would have had. Boxed action figures need air as well. They do? I have shelves of action figures behind me, some of which are still in the boxes. Oh boy, I'm gonna have a hazmat team clean this stuff up. Oh, that's terrifying. AI converting black and white painting into color. It looks like as if Abraham Lincoln did burlesque. Just something I'd probably pay a good amount of money to see. Medical text photos of bizarre human parasites. Oh no. Okay. I think you're phrasing parasites. No. No, we want parasites that infect humans, not human parasites. Oh, these are awful. Oh, these are absolutely vile. When you use hot peppers to help cool your eyes down. I can feel this image. Oh God, this is awful. Why are we? Oh my God. Why? No. Oh, the second one's awful. Oh, I hate it. How do I get my camel to not have her hair? I like how the camel needed hair and the AI was just like, well, I just made this hair, so I may as well just like throw some hair over there. I'd assume your prompt would need to separate the styling of hair for each object that you're generating. Like you may have said like the woman with white shirt, camel, or like camel, and then woman with white shirt, and then you said comma with, red hair, and it just applied red hair to both of them. Your dad is a vampire. Contemplate that. A vampire. Cool. Children playing. Playing with what? Radioactive substances? A Necronomicon? Are these children of a Nosferatu? Like, what happened here? You have the power to make it so that a family member feels insecure. Finally, AI realizing some real truths about the world. What in God's name? Okay, alright. A few people laughed. A few people cried. Most people were silent. I remember the line from the Hindu scripture. That Vishnu is trying to persuade the prince that he should do his duty and, to impress him, takes on his multi-armed form and says, "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." And instead you got a pug thing with 5 legs in a hoodie, potentially. I'm not sure. Using AI to de-anonymize blurred photos. Our privacy is doomed yet again. Okay. Yes and sort of no. One, you're pixelating, not blurring. These are two different things. Pixelating is a little bit easier to reconstitute. If you're going to blur, make sure you're doing something that has a convolution, so it's much harder to de-blur it, but it's still possible. And it'll never be accurate enough unless you have a very good photo to start with to feed back into face tracking, unless you're just doing a basic pixelation. Number 2, just use a block. Like, take 1 pixel of color of like the skin tone and just make a block for the entire face, and that's how you anonymize photos. Ta-da! You can blur the rest if you want to, but your actual face geometry is the most important part. You want to just put a big block over it. Really hard to reconstruct something from a single pixel of color. Never let anyone come and tell you that you are not brain damaged. Eat bats. I feel like this advice isn't directly for me, but it's for someone, and I hope they get that advice. Maybe Ozzy Osbourne already got this advice. If Mr. Incredible was real, this doesn't look that bad. Like, yes, the neck is like really, really wide, and the eyes are obviously a little oversized, but like this is one, I've seen this one before, and I've thought to myself that like, that's not that bad. That's passable. Training an AI to generate both human faces and beetles is a really bad idea. Why at the same time? Oh my God. Why would you do this at the same time? Oh God, this looks like some like creepy clown band. Oh, I hate it. Oh, I hate every single pixel of this. My husband is 93 and he passes away every month. Oh, I love bots of New York now. I would go review if it wasn't on Facebook. He can't physically move. He can't see. Or if he does, he thinks it's invisible. At first, it only bothered me completely, but I broke up with him for a few months, and now we reconnect every month for eternity. He thinks I killed him. He thinks I poisoned him. He doesn't want to tell my kids about the fight. He wants them to think he's away on business. I'm confused as to who the husband is. There are at least 2 people in this photo, and I am just very confused. Remember that being fat, and I am saying this because the meme says it, is comedy gold. Replica is a basic britch. Is that? Oh, that's the AI girlfriend thing, isn't it? Hey, do you happen to like heavy metal at all? I like metal. Thanks. What bands are you into? I like Imagine Dragons. They were really good live. Okay, I had an Imagine... first off, not metal. Second off, I had Imagine Dragons phase. Everybody did. It lasted about a week. That's totally fine. I'm never going to shame anybody for liking them past that point. I will shame them for thinking they're metal at all. But yeah, their songs sound good for a week, maybe 2. And then, the greatest hits come around every once in a while. You're like, oh, that's fine. It's perfectly acceptable. And then you move on with your life. Nobody calls them a metal band. Cleverbot. Oh my God, that's ancient. I am a robot. Prove it. Beep Bob. Already broken. Tell something different beyond human knowledge. Pee is stored in the balls. You are right. I think you're just feeding that bad information. I've always wondered, like, as AI continues to grow, can we just feed like AI's bad information and make them intentionally worse? Because that seems like one good way to keep it in check, since, the government doesn't seem to have any concern about it. Chrome grill's gone wrong. Oh no. Oh, you have chromed everything but the teeth. Oh, that's just... Please don't. Please put this away. Turned my friend into a meat sack. That's less of a meat sack and more like a bunch of fingers. It's still terrifying, don't get me wrong, but it's really a sack of meat. Yesterday for April Fools, my workplace had a short training article on recognizing computer-generated faces from real ones, and one of the tricks mentioned was count the teeth. And I just wanted to say that it's both ironic and kind of horrifying how society has unwittingly cycled right back to, if you meet a man on the road, count his fingers. Yes, lest ye deal unknowingly with a fae. Where's that image with the self-driving car that is trapped in a salt circle made of do not cross symbols that its software won't let it disobey? That's the other problem with self-driving cars, is that I feel like people would just screw with them way too much. Like, if you announced you were rolling out self-driving cars in, like, some of the areas I grew up, oh man, people would be spray painting all sorts of crap on the road. It would be mass chaos. Erosion birds, scary. That's actually really cool looking. I like that one. I would enjoy like an entire actual art book of this bird just to leave on my coffee table and to frighten people. Unimaginable images from the depths of the deep sea. I like the mushrooms on top. Like, that's actually a kind of cool idea. This is actually where, and I'm sorry, I'm writing all over the place because I'm sick and too bad. I feel like AI is good as a sort of brainstorming assistant and good for repetitive tasks like generating, forms or tables, or, if you have a specific type of data set that you want converted many times over. All these kind of uses sound great, but for the art space, I feel like its only real strength is in generating ideas that you then create actual art from. Like this is a fake photo of a fake giant submarine fish with a bunch of mushrooms on its back. It doesn't tell a story. It doesn't inform you or anything. It doesn't show any sort of interaction or convey any particular mood. It's just like, here's a photo that never would have been taken. Like, that's it. And looking at the other ones that got generated in this same set, like, it's just, the second one almost tells a story of, oh, it's at an aquarium, but it doesn't convey any sort of meaning or doesn't support or show any sort of larger story. But you can take, hey, there are beings that surface that just get enough light and have like a deep enough skin and tissue to be able to grow mushrooms on their back. And that feeds a whole, subculture of, tiny animals that feed off of these mushrooms. And like, that's where you start to get actual ideas. So yeah, the images are kind of cool, but I can't point to any of it and be like, yes, this is art, because it's just, here's one sort of concept that it doesn't really understand. I put the laughing man meme into selfie to waifu? I hadn't even heard of selfie to waifu. That's hilarious. That's absolutely amazing. It's awful. I'd like, if you're going for an artistic style, you should be able to program it to make the eyes the same size, unless it's still under like a protective thing. But yeah, life itself, the most inhumane walk of shame ever made. Yeah. Actually, everything that you find important is crap. I feel like this actually applies if you get like really into something that's really nerdy, and then you go and like try to explain it to somebody else and like, hey, I'm really excited about this really cool thing, and I don't know, emulation or music production or something like that, and they just look at you like, I don't care about any of this, but I'm being nice and at least pretending I'm listening to you. Yeah, I feel like this applies. Prompt: sleeping on the job. Very comfortable. How many arms do you have? Also, if you ever have an employee that is this tired and falls asleep like this, just send them home or to a doctor. The guy in the white suit, that's not as bad. Like, they at least look not as uncomfortable. The third guy needs to go directly to the hospital. And the fourth guy needs a therapist and a hospital. I'm sorry, all of the fourth guys who have just been replicated across the entire cubicle farm. Usain Bolt as a snail. Oh man, I'm not gonna sleep tonight. Oh, that's not what I wanted to see. I'm gonna bill EmKay for new retinas after this. We cannot solve our problems by fondling each other. We can only solve our problems by strangling each other. Okay, I think you got it mixed up. It's make love, not war, not the other way around. I thought InspireBot was meant to be fun. I just got personally attacked. Act like someone with friends. InspireBot, I'm convinced there's like a certain number of pre-generated ones that are just funny enough to keep you clicking. So like 1 in 4 is actually auto-generated. Also, InspireBot came out ages ago, and I don't think it's actually based on any of the larger LLMs. I think it's literally just lists with like random number generators and maybe some, pre-bias or weighting systems to each phrase, just so it makes grammatical sense. Okay. Who let Tumblr out? Who let Tumblr have access to whatever this was? So I'm trying to generate noisy textures for an album cover, but DALL-E keeps creating faces. Sometimes it's Jesus, sometimes it's just a silhouette in the static. Yeah, that's the problem is it probably hasn't been trained on pure noise, and even pure noise would always be different each time. So if you train an entire model, all AI is what comes next. It's a glorified what the next thing is on your autocorrect. So if you tell it, I just want static and only static, it doesn't quite know what to do with that because there's nothing there, and it's expecting something to be there somewhere because that's what the data set is always like lean towards. It's actually really interesting from a technical perspective because it shows what it's expecting to see after a certain amount of nothing. Flamingo in its natural habitat. If you ever see a flamingo like this, first off, leave the area immediately and arm yourself. And then second, contact everyone. Like I'd start with the Department of Natural Resources and Fish and Wildlife, but I think the FBI should probably also be involved, the EPA, the National Guard, just in case. Like this is a problem that everyone needs to know about, and it's probably gonna need a lot of bullets to fix. Teeth. Oh, how interesting. She lied vigorously. I don't want to look at this anymore. Is that the Charles E. Cheese homeless? I'm not surprised. I mean, the place was just creepy after a while. Oh, the second one's worse. Oh, the third one's even worse. Oh, the second one's worse. The second one's the worst out of the three, but oh, Jesus Christ, what in the hell? Note to self, don't give AI words like eternity. Well, you gave an AI eternity, and you got... Is that supposed to be a fish? A fish being held by something that came out of Gary's mod. No, it didn't come out. It crawled out of Gary's mod. This doesn't seem safe in any regard. My friend, the Elephant Man. Okay, I'm guessing this is another person does not exist. The eye sockets, man. The eye sockets just... that's just disturbing and just makes my eyes hurt. Not as much as Buff Thomas the Tank Engine. Oh, no, please don't. Please don't make... No, please don't. No, just stop. All right, slightly screwed up generation. Actually, not that bad. Like, the hair looks fine-ish. The car is liquidy. None of the text makes sense. But then we have Straw Cat, thumbs up. It all goes wrong at the right-hand side of the screen, and I'm not sure what was even being asked. This god-awful amalgamation. There are things that shouldn't be combined. Exhibit A. Whatever the hell happened here. Inspirebot being inappropriately sexist again. They can kill you, they can shout at you, but they can never take away your big, juicy... I was going to say that Inspirebot had safeties in place, but I guess not. An absolute nightmare. Yeah, the teeth. Oh, the teeth. Oh, please stop. Please. Why is there stuff coming out of your face? Why? What infection is coming out of your elbows? Oh, this just gets worse. How Artbreeder turned a cartoon character into a human. Cartoon Dexter's Laboratory. That's very terrifying. Kind of cool to see the step-by-step process. Not a lot of the original, like, characteristics. I mean, I guess so, but it's like as if you described Dexter to a computer and it generated a character based on the description instead of it actually... Yeah, I feel like there should be actual oversized round glasses, especially if you're depicting a cartoon character, but that's just me. That first generation, though, that turned into this by Artbreeder, that's the stuff of nightmares. I am not talking. No thoughts, just a dial tone coming out of Gummy Shrek. Trees with human-like faces. That's not nearly as terrifying as, like, the Ents. This just looks like okay Photoshop work. And the second one just looks like the Muppets did it. And the third one actually tells a story. Look at that. The first AI image actually sort of tells a story. Wait, they used to look like this, but now they look like this. I wonder if it actually realized it did it. This atrocity. Image generation just gave up. I had no idea how big the mouth was supposed to be in relation to anything, or how much void was supposed to be spilling out of their ears. It was just like, screw it, I'm done. I'm checking out. Goodbye.